Okay.
So tell us how you got into doing what enticed you to do them.
Well, I've been a big fan of reaction channels for a while. I loved watching people react to the music that I loved, and I loved seeing their reaction to, like I said, the music that I love. So it's been kind of something I've wanted to do for a while. And so when I started this out, I wanted to go back and like the songs, the music that I listen to, I know there's a lot of songs that I know that the common person that doesn't follow that band
All right.
didn't hear. So there's so just the B sides or the deep cuts or the deep
Oh yeah.
tracks. So when I started thinking about it, I was like, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. So all of that music that's very popular for reaction channels now is stuff that I've already heard.
Right.
So I decided that I would go the other way and go backwards. I know there's a ton of great music from the 60s, 70s, even the 50s that I would enjoy. Led Zeppelin, you mentioned earlier, is one that I knew there would be. I'm familiar with, their popular songs, and the same way with Elvis. So that was the same way. I'm familiar with Hound Dog, Jailhouse Rock. I've heard the real popular ones, but I knew there had to be some songs that I hadn't heard, or if I'd briefly heard,
Yeah.
that I would enjoy. So that's one of the reasons I chose Elvis. And also I knew, just to be honest, I knew that fan base would be a little more lenient as I learned
Mm.
on a reaction channel. They wouldn't you know what I'm trying to say.
Beats you up.
They beat me up, correct?
Yeah.
So it was but I thoroughly enjoyed this journey with Elvis so far. Um, just this morning I recorded a couple of reactions, and one of them or two of them was some more bluesy songs than what I've done from Elvis. So I really enjoyed those. So I love discovering stuff like that.
Yeah. What was the very first one you reacted to?
Oh gosh, I've done so many, it's hard to remember. I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, while you do that. Yeah, I don't watch as many anymore because I get really frustrated with the ones that are doing it for the clicks, and you can tell it's just
Right.
not. They've seen them before, or they're just reacting. But uh,
Let's
I
see.
usually try to watch the ones that when they do American Trilogy, and that's the one that caught me with you.
Right.
You
If I
know,
Can Dream was the first one.
oh yeah, you started with the cream of the crop.
Right.
One of the best ones. But your reaction to that, you could just tell. I mean, you paused it once, I don't know, once or twice, and you could tell in your voice that you were impacted by his voice and what when he took it up, and went from that beginning of after the part of um just before the flute solo.
Right.
um and then he went into it. I mean, it's just your reaction. So I went back and then I watched you do what now my love the other day, and that to me is one of the most ones that when somebody reacts to that song, and when they react at the point when he steps it up and he starts belting it out, and you see the look on their face, and you had that look, it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, a lot of people don't realize that they aren't familiar with Elvis. They're more familiar with the Hound Dogs in the 50s
Right.
and the movie songs, realize really what kind of voice he had, you
Right.
know.
Yeah, he's got a full range. I knew, like I said, I've heard Elvis growing up, but
Yeah.
you know, just to hear his full range, and now, I'm an older person. I have a more of appreciation than when I first heard him growing up, and but just to hear the range that he has, the power that he has, and a lot of times I keep commenting on how much of an entertainer he is.
Hmm.
He brings you in with his voice, and not only that, but his stage presence. He does, it just draws you in. So that was one of the things about that moment. And even though I knew he had a powerful range, it still caught me off guard in that
Hmm.
song. So yeah, it's just been a unique journey for me that I've enjoyed.
Well, I appreciate some of the other bands and all that you're doing. That's the music I grew up in. I was born
Yeah.
in '58, and I grew up with the '60s and '70s music mainly. And when I saw the Led Zeppelin one, I can't remember, it was I Can't Quit You, Babe. Oh, it was Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
man.
that's one of my favorite that's the first song on their very first album, you know?
Right. Yeah, that just got done reacting to the whole first album, and it just blew me away. I didn't really realize how much of a blues influence that they had, and I love the blues. So, yeah, that's been an awesome journey as well.
Michael, I'm gonna put the link in the description when this is through. I'll make sure that everybody gets the link.
I appreciate it.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah, I really want people to, we all love watching people discover Elvis, even more, even though you know who he was.
Right.
Now you're getting into more of a deep dive about it, and to use the words of Brent, you're getting more into the meat of it all. It's just not a song that you hear driving down the road on the radio or something like that.
Right. Yeah, and to me, with the bands that I grew up with, those are the songs that resonate with me the most. They're the ones that aren't the popular songs. Um, and so that's what I've enjoyed about music. I mean, it's up to interpretation for everybody, and one song can mean something totally different to somebody else, and that's the beauty of music. And Elvis does that. With whether or not you like his performance or whether or not you like the meaning of the song or whether or not you like his voice. It's something there for everybody, and that's just the beauty of music.
Yeah, I just put up the link to your channel.
Thank you, I
Hey,
appreciate it.
Somebody's playing Pop 'em all.
yeah, no. When we first started doing this, Mickey, we were having connection issues between all of us, and Cam would come on and he'd pop out, and come on and pop out, and so we started calling it whack-a-mole.
Right.
You remember the game at the
Oh
amusement
yeah.
park, and so it's just we were playing whack-a-mole, and we have issues with it sometimes, but
Hey, I'm new at this myself, so I'm not perfect. I'm by far not the best reactor out there, but
no, I'm going to tell you, you're good.
No,
thank
but
you.
that
I'm
I
honestly going to
appreciate
tell
it.
you, you're good, and you've got a nice. I like your setup that you have. Keeping it simple to me
Right.
is better. It's like me, I don't want all the back. I've got a picture that I made. I took some little canvas squares and I printed a puzzle of Elvis, and I wanted it to look like he was peeking in the window watching.
Right.
And then I got I'm a musician, so that's why I love music so much. And so I just thought, let's just keep it simple.
Well, I took over my daughter's bedroom. If you can tell, the wall behind me is pink. She's away at college,
Oh,
so I kind of moved in, and I told her the other day that I turned her
oh
room
my
into a
goodness.
studio. But I struggled with that at first. I was trying to
Yeah, I ain't
make it
got no
all.
sound.
Um, I
what
tried to make it.
what's that, Rich? I I think we lost Rich again, vocal.
Okay.
Sound. Anyways, go ahead, Mickey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I struggled with trying to make it like all the other reaction channels, stuff behind me, and then I was like, "That's not me." And so I stopped, and I was like, "I'm just going to go with what I got and go
Yeah,
from there. And if it something happens or I change things, so be it." But that's one of the things. I'm just trying to be genuine.
yeah, and you come across
That's
that way. And that's what
that's
attracted me to your channel.
yeah, that's the only way to do it because you can see the rehearsed channels by far. You can see them a mile away.
Yeah, and if
And
you
then
if you watch my videos, you'll notice I hardly do any cuts. So I try to do
No,
everything in a
you're
one
right.
take. I mean, there's a few here and there, but for the most part, I'm not one of these that's going to splice it together. One, I don't have the time to do that. But two, that's just not me. I'm not trying to make it something I'm not.
Right.
So what you see is what you get. So if you
Yeah.
like it, thank you so much. I appreciate it. If not, there's plenty of other channels for you.
Yeah.
and
No. Exactly. Yeah. No. But
I think
I,
I
I
think
I really truly appreciate your reactions all the way of all the songs the songs that I've heard so far.
Well, I really appreciate you giving me the time here today. So
No,
thank you.
I thank you for popping in. I was hoping you'd be able to, and because I want to do this on a regular basis when I find some good ones, and other YouTube channels, Elvis YouTube channels too. So because there's so much crap out there,
Yeah.
I got to the point where, and I could never do a reaction channel because I grew up with them. I heard all the songs before, so
Right.
I couldn't do an honest reaction because I've already done that when I first heard.
Well, I've been called out once or twice on a few videos where people were saying, there's no way you've never heard of Led Zeppelin or Elvis, and I've never said I've never heard of them. So I
Right?
try. I try to
No.
always make sure people know that yes, I've heard this song, but it's been a long time, and when I heard it, I was younger, didn't pay attention to it, especially lyrics. I'm terrible with hearing lyrics for the first time. Music is what always
Yeah.
draws me in first. So I try to be honest and let everybody know, yes, I've heard Elvis, Led Zeppelin, the
Yeah.
Beatles, but I didn't listen to them like you guys did when it
Mm.
first came out.
Right.
So some of it is a re-listening for me, but most of it is new.
Yeah. No, it's great. Hey, listen, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for taking the time. It's
Thank you. I
good to.
appreciate the time.
I will definitely be following you even more, and I hope you I from what I could tell, you're going to wind up with some more subscribers today because we're look we love it when people start getting into Elvis and it's
Very good.
honest. So,
Yes. Well,
well, Mickey,
thank you for having me. Thank you.
oh, absolutely, Mickey. So, I will let you go, and
Okay.
I will. I'll you'll hear from me again in the comments.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Thank
keep
you.
doing Led
Appreciate it.
Zeppelin too.
Appreciate it.
They're
Thanks.
great. All right, have a good one.
You too.
Bye.